Welcome, listeners, to another chilling episode of Relative Perspective Paranormal Confessions. I'm your host, Steven, and tonight we're diving deep into one of the creepiest corners of the paranormal world. Picture this, it's late at night, you're home alone, there's a knock at your door. You peek out and see two kids standing there, pale, quiet, and maybe their clothes look a little old for today. They ask you to come in, maybe to use your phone or wait for their parents. But then you notice their eyes. Solid black, no whites, and no irises. Just inky voids staring back at you. And suddenly you're gripped by a fear that you can't explain. These are what is known as the black-eyed children. A phenomenon that has been haunting doorsteps and dark roads for decades. Where did they come from? What do they want? And are they real? Tonight, we'll explore their possible origins and share some spine-chilling true encounters. So lock your door, dim the lights, and let's step into the shadows together. Before we get into the stories, let's set the stage. The black-eyed children, or BEC for short, are typically described as kids between the ages of 6 and 16. They show up unexpectedly, sometimes at your door, sometimes by the roadside, and they're always asking for something, a ride, a phone call, an invitation inside. But here's the kicker. People who encounter them report an overwhelming sense of dread, like their gut is screaming at them to run. And those pitch black eyes are the detail that sticks with everyone. No one knows exactly what happens if you let them in, but the few who have, well, let's just say, it's probably not a happy ending. So where did these eerie kids come from? Let's start with some origin theories. Okay, first up, the urban legend theory. Most people trace the black-eyed children back to 1996 when a Texas journalist named Brian Bethel posted about a strange encounter on an early internet ghost forum. He claimed he met two kids in Abilene, Texas, who approached his car asking for a ride. Something felt off, and when he looked into their eyes, they were solid black. He sped away, shaken, and his story spread like wildfire. Skeptics say this was the spark that ignited a modern myth, a creepypasta that grew legs thanks to the internet. They argue it's just a story that's been repeated and embellished, like Slender Man or Bloody Mary. But here's the thing. Some encounters predate Bethel's tale, suggesting there might be more to it. We'll get to those later. Next, let's talk about the demonic theory. Some paranormal researchers and plenty of terrified witnesses believe these kids are tied to something sinister, maybe even the devil himself. The idea here is that their need for an invitation mirrors vampire lore. They can't come in unless you let them. Demonologists speculate they are either possessed kids or entities masquerading as children to trick you into lowering your guard. Once inside, they might feed on your fear, your soul, or worse. It's a chilling thought. Imagine opening your door to what you think is a lost child, only to invite pure evil into your home. Then there's the alien angle. UFO enthusiasts point out similarities between the BEC and classic alien encounter stories. Pale skin, strange behavior, those unearthly eyes. Could they be hybrids, a mix of human and alien DNA, sent to test us or collect something from our world? Some even link them to the Men in Black, those mysterious figures who show up after UFO sightings. Both seem to have a knack for making people uneasy, and both have those weird hypnotic vibes. Maybe the black-eyed children are scouts knocking on doors to see who will let them in or who'll fight back. And finally, there's the ghost theory. What if these kids are spirits stuck between worlds, maybe victims of some long ago tragedy? Their outdated clothes and old-fashioned speech, reported in many stories, support these ideas. Perhaps they're replaying a moment from their past, asking for help they'll never get, but why the black eyes? Some say it's a mark of corruption, a sign they've been twisted by time or something darker in the afterlife. It's a haunting image, lost souls wandering forever, knocking on doors that never will open for them. Okay, we've got urban myths, demons, aliens, and ghosts. All possibilities in the BEC origin lineup, but theories are one thing. The real chills come from the people who face these kids in the flesh, or whatever they're made of. Let's move on to some true encounters that'll make you think twice about answering the door after dark. Our first story comes from Brian Bethel himself. the guy who might have started it all. In 1996, late at night in Abilene, Texas, Brian parked near a movie theater, writing a check by the marquee light. Two boys, maybe 12 or 13, knocked on his car window. They're wearing hoodies, looking normal enough, and they say they want to ride home to get some money for the movies. Brian kind of hesitates. Something feels kind of wrong. The older kid keeps pushing, saying, "It won't take long. We're just kids. We don't have a gun." Weird thing to say, right? Then Brian locks eyes with them, and his blood runs cold. Their eyes are pure black, like pools of ink. He fumbles for excuses, but the kids get insistent. "We can't come in unless you say it's okay." That's when Brian hauls butt out of there, heart pounding, and later a psychic overhears his recounting, and he said if he let him in, he would not have made it out alive. Okay, Brian's story set a template, but it's not the oldest. Let's jump back to 1950, a case documented by paranormal author David Weatherly. A teenager named Harold is walking home down a dirt road in a small American town. It's dusk, and he spots a boy leaning against a fence near his house. Harold doesn't recognize him, and that's odd for a tight-knit community. He asks if the kid's okay, but gets no answer at first. Then the boy turns, and Harold freezes. Black eyes, no expression. The kid mutters something about needing to come inside, but Harold bolts home and locks the door. Years later, Harold's family told Weatherly the story after Harold passed away, swearing it haunted him until the day he died. Okay, now let's fast forward to 1974. This one is from France in the Picardy region. A man's driving home late when he sees two kids by the roadside waving him down. It's raining, so he pulls over, figuring they're lost. They climb into the back seat, soaking wet, and ask to be dropped off in a nearby village. He chats with them, but they're quiet, almost like a robot. Then he glances in the rearview mirror, and their eyes are as black as night. He gets scared to death, and they start repeating, "Take us home, take us home," in that flat, creepy tone. He speeds up, drops him at the village, and doesn't look back. When he checks later, no one in the village knew who those kids were. Okay, let's bring this back home in Vermont. It's mid-2000s, and elderly couples relaxing one snowy night when they hear 3 loud knocks. The husband peeks out and sees 2 kids, maybe 10 years old, standing in the snow. They're dressed lightly, no coats, no hats, and they ask to come in and warm up. He's about to open the door when his wife grabs his arm, whispering, "Something's wrong. Do not open that door." He looks closer, and their eyes hit him like a punch. Solid black. The kids keep pleading, "We're cold, let us in," but the couple backs away. The knocking goes on for hours before it stops. The next morning, there's no footsteps in the snow. Could you have turned those kids away? Here's one that scares me to death from Oregon in 2010. It's shared on a Reddit forum. A woman named Sarah's alone one evening when 2 kids knock on her door. They're pale, maybe 14 years old, asking to use her phone. She's uneasy but cracks the door to say no. That's when she sees their eyes. They're black as night. They push harder, saying, "Our mom's worried. We need to call her mom." Sarah slams the door and locks it and hears them banging for the next 20 minutes. She calls a friend to stay on the line, hoping that it ends soon when it finally stops. Next thing she knows, she sees scratches on the door frame, like someone tried to claw their way in. Okay, here's our last encounter, and it's crazy. This is actually someone that actually let these kids in. This comes from a book by Melissa George about a woman named Ainsley in rural America. Ainsley and her husband move into a fixer-upper near the woods. One day, she's alone, and 2 kids show up, black eyes, asking to wait inside for their parents. Against her gut, she lets them in, feeling almost hypnotized. They sit silently on her couch for hours. That night, her dogs go missing. Over the next 3 months, her health tanks, nosebleeds, nightmares, a cancer diagnosis. Her husband finds her one day barely conscious, muttering about the kids. She swears they cursed her for letting them in. Now just imagine how hard it would be if you saw 2 little kids knocking on your door and begging to come in. I mean, that would be hard for me to not do. I mean, that would be crazy. But, I mean, if I saw 2 kids standing on my front porch and they had some black eyes, I ain't letting the asses in for sure. These stories span decades and continents, but they all share that same eerie vibe. Those eyes, the dread, and the plea to enter. Are these coincidences, hallucinations, or is something really knocking at our doors? So what do we make all this? The skeptic in me says it's mass hysteria. Brian Bethel's story plants a seed, and people start seeing what they expect to see. Maybe it's just kids in costumes or tricks of light. But then you have cases like Harold's from the 1950s, way before the internet, and the consistency, those black eyes, that invitation thing, it's hard to dismiss as pure coincidence. If they are real, what do they want? Some say it's your soul, others say it's just to spread fear. Me, I lean toward the idea that they're testing us, pushing to see who will crack and who will let them in. One pattern stands out. Most people who say no come out okay, just shaken. The few who say yes, like Ainsley, don't fare so well. It's almost like a rule. Deny them and you're safe. Invite them in and you're marked. Whether they're demons, aliens, or ghosts, that invitation seems key. Maybe it's a loophole, a way to cross some boundary they can't otherwise breach. As we wrap this up, I'll leave you with this. Next time you hear a knock late at night, think twice before you answer. Check the peephole. Look for those eyes, because if the black-eyed children are out there, they're still knocking, and they're still waiting for someone to say yes.
Who are you?
Please let me in.
Huh?
Please help me.
Okay, guys, I hope y'all really liked the story. I worked really hard on it. I hope y'all liked it. If you did, please pound on that like button, and please hit subscribe, because my wife thinks that I can't get to 1,000 subscribers within the next maybe 4 or 5 months, and I told her she's wrong. I'm going to get them. So y'all please help me out with that. Again, hit the like button, and listen, if y'all have had any encounters, whether it's with black-eyed children or ghosts or anything, please leave a comment, or you can email me at relativeperspective76@gmail.com. I would really like to hear your story, and maybe you can come on here with us and we can interview you and talk about it. Hey guys, thanks for listening. God bless y'all, and have a good night.